Here are a few things that I wish I knew before going gluten free. Going gluten free is one of the most challenging things to do, firstly. Um, it's harder in the beginning stages, though, in comparison to when you progress and actually eat your food and when you start to find foods in different stores. What I've learned is that living in different, second thing that I've learned is it really depends on what city that you live in as well and what accommodation you get based on those cities. So, for example, I live in Mthatha. There are options that they are limited because the target market here is really small for people that are gluten free. So I'll make you an example with Woolworths food here in Mthatha in comparison to somewhere like Cape Town or Durban. And yeah, if you go to Durban, you're gonna find a section with gluten-free bread, and you will find gluten-free cakes, or you'll find gluten-free brownies, pancakes. You get the list. If you go there to the Woolworths here in Mthatha, girl, you are not gonna find any of that here. I promise you that much. You will find though flour for you to actually make things. So, the little rant that I can make about you need to make things from scratch. It's a very personal one because for me, I need to actually like find different products that I'm like, okay, this is gonna work, and I need to make it from scratch or look up recipes. Excuse me, where I'm like, okay, this is how I'm gonna figure out how to make this. That being said, I've learned that there's a lot of stores that are actually quite accommodating of a gluten-free diet. And examples that I can name for you are Checkers, Woolworths as mentioned, and also there are some options at Pick and Pay. Pick and Pay is not my go-to. That's why I'm like a little bit skeptical. But there are some options at Pick and Pay. But Discount, yes, of course. So those four places I would recommend. And a friend of mine said Spar is actually an option. Based on my knowledge, on my calculations, your go-to place if you are gluten-free in Mthatha, or if you're gluten-free specifically in Mthatha, your go-to place is Discount. Because you get bread flour, and you must like be here and say, okay, I'm going to make things from scratch. That's basically it. You get stuff from Checkers mostly for me. I get stuff from Checkers, and I also get stuff from Discount. Those are my number two places that I believe in 100%, that never let me down. Because honestly, guys, when I tell you about Checkers, you go into the different aisles and you find things even in the actual aisles. In the actual aisles with other food, there is an isolated area. The reason why I say that is because in Discount usually it's the gluten-free food is put in its area, and you find it there in the section where you're like, okay, these are like the raw materials, sort of kind of things. Those things that you're like, okay, I need to make these and I need to do something about these. And it's usually in its own section, which is helpful, but also at the same time, I don't know, it feels like it's on the side, but it's okay. In Checkers, you're able to find gluten-free food in the aisles with the other food. It's helpful though sometimes to find the food within the different places or just in one section, so that you don't have to get stressed out about the fact that, oh, especially in the beginning stages of being gluten-free, you look at all those foods and you're like, oh, I could be buying this, but now I'm buying this. That's how I felt from the very beginning. I was like, oh, now I actually can't buy Oma Rasks. I need to buy this Rask off-brand. Simple truth. That's what I'm eating. And actually, that's my go-to when it comes to a Rask. I've tried other brands, and honestly, Simple Truth has been my favorite one so far. It's less sweet and it's also gluten-free, which perfect for me and my dietary needs. Perfect for me and my dietary needs. When it comes to family gatherings, being gluten-free feels like a little bit of an inconvenience, to be very transparent, because of the fact that you go to these events and no one really knows much about being gluten-free, or no one really prioritizes it that much. So when you go there, you get there and you're like, oh, I needed to now make a plate for myself. or like you need to bring a lunchbox, or you need to, yeah, 100% you need to bring a lunchbox, because the food is catered there and it's there. But most of the time the food has got seasonings and things that are not gluten free, because the majority of the people aren't gluten free, which is fair. The last thing I can say is that being gluten free isn't really as bad as you will think from the beginning. And I am in no way actually encouraging anyone to go gluten free by this video. I'm just creating awareness of a gluten free diet. But being gluten free in itself is really good for health. It's been really good for me personally and my body and the way that my body responds to it. It isn't something that I feel like everyone must actually pursue. But yeah, it's for people that are gluten intolerant, such as myself, as well as people that are celiac. Yeah. So that's all for this video.